Hello my friends and welcome back. Thank you very much for being with me again today. There's many ways I could have started this video regarding Switzerland and its lost neutrality. It's very disappointing moment. I made another video a while ago regarding Switzerland losing its neutrality when Russia did not accept them to be some intermediaries, telling them that you lost your neutrality, but hey, Russia is Russia and I am who I am. I'm just a guy here talking about past events, current events, and make predictions according to my knowledge, experience, and feelings and all that. I'm trying to find out what happened and trying to share that with you. So let's talk about this article where it's very disappointing to find out that Switzerland lost its neutrality. Actually, I think it lost it about 7 months ago, but this is a new example. This article comes from the New Voice of Ukraine and is from January 24th, 2023. Switzerland pivots to allow re-export of weapons to Ukraine. That means you lost your neutrality since you are taking sides. Beautiful country. I visited it. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Now, neutral Switzerland will stop blocking the supply of Swiss-made weapons to Ukraine, allowing European countries to transfer them to Kiev. Swiss newspaper Neue Zürich Zeitung reported on January 24th. The Security Policy Commission of the Swiss National Council has adopted a proposal allowing other countries to re-export weapons received from Switzerland in certain areas. Did you catch the first word of this article, aside from the title? Neutral Switzerland. Even the Ukrainians from New Voice of Ukraine know that Switzerland is no neutral. That's why they overemphasize it for weasels, for people who have an IQ below 86. They will not catch that one. Now, Switzerland's existing laws prohibit the re-export of weapons to warring countries. Born out of the country's long-standing commitment to neutrality, that lost in 2022, the Commission argues that this clause ought to have an exemption for cases when one side is being attacked in breach of international law. End quote. Well, let's discuss that for a second. If you have values and you consider yourself a person with values and norms, if you consider that a rape is a rape, you would not find circumstances to say a rape is not a rape, especially when there's penetration. Okay? So you will not find this kind of value of justice and intervening in a case of a situation like this, because if it's Johnny on Mary, it's not rape, but if it's Michael on, I don't know, Jennifer, then it's rape. That means you have no values. So you're not neutral, Switzerland. So I'm sorry, if it's about international law, I bet you are still neutral when other countries bombarded Yugoslavia in 1999 in a breach of international law. That was not a legal war by the United Nations, which is the international law over there. So I want to hear Switzerland saying something about that. And they didn't. So that tells me their values are situational. And if your values are situational, those are not values, my friends. Okay? All right. So let's go to read what these guys have to say here. So, specifically in the case of Russo-Ukrainian war, according to the UN General Assembly, Ukraine has full right to defend itself from Russia's unprovoked aggression. Well, that's a lot of things that could be discussed here. Yes, you have the right to defend yourself. But remember, your right to arm yourself, your security should not threaten your neighbor's security. Remember, I made a video on that. which is another principle under the United Nations, and the Western countries signed it. That means if I arm myself and my, in the process of arming myself, I threaten your security to beef up my security, then you have the right to do something about it, or at least I am in the wrong. So if NATO comes at my door to give me a kiss, and I don't like that, then I try to, solve problems, diplomatically. And if NATO doesn't want to talk to me because they are a peaceful defensive organization, but so defensive that they attacked, bombarded Yugoslavia, Serbia in 1999 without being attacked, that tells me that you are not a defensive alliance. And history or events, for instance, Iraq, Libya, Syria, Yugoslavia, they show how kind of organization, defensive organization or alliance NATO is. So it's discussable and it's debatable what unprovoked means. But anyway, additionally, the Commission pointed out these changes would not violate the Swiss neutrality. Well, that is, according to outside interpretation, is like I say, I'm a good person. I think I'm a good person. I'm neutral. No. You are considered neutral by others, not only by you. You can say how much you want, but if your actions are challenged by people around you, you might not be that good guy that you say you are. Because, criminals don't think of themselves of criminals all the time. They think they're good people, and they find a kind of justification to say that they're good people. But for the victims and the people around, those good people might not look like good people. Did you think, or do you think, that, for instance, Saddam Hussein, for instance, thought that he's a bad dude? He had his own justifications. Do you think that former president of the United States of America, Harry Truman, when he dropped 2 atomic bombs on 2 civilian cities, do you think that he thought he was bad? No. He found justifications, say those were not, dropped. No, they didn't kill those, I don't know how many, 200,000 people, 300,000 people, with people dying after that. They justified it that we saved the lives of our boys. So, was it a war crime? Well, if, let's say, someone drops an atomic bomb now on a city, would it be a war crime? Do you think so? Civilian? I think it would be. It should be. So therefore, I don't think Truman thought that he was a bad dude whatsoever. Neither Saddam, nor Gaddafi. So you see, it's not necessarily how you feel about yourself. Your actions and the interpretation of the public also has a play into determining what kind of entity you are. So here, Switzerland thinks that they're neutral, but they're not. They think they are, but they're not. I mean, they can think they're perfect, but you know how that goes, right? We all think we're good persons. I don't think any of us here think that we are bad people. We all think we're good people. Yeah, we might make a mistake here and there, but blah, blah, blah. So would not violate the Swiss neutrality, as it would be third countries, not Switzerland itself, supplying Kiev with Swiss-made equipment. Don't be weasels, Swiss. Don't hide behind, oh, it's someone else who delivers it. No, you have a, how should I put it? I'm going to put it straight as I think I usually put it. Or I think, you supply a weapon, a knife, to someone, and you got a criminal over there, right? Or someone who's in a fight with someone else. Okay, this isn't just an analogy. Is in a fight with someone else. And that one cannot use his weapon against someone else unless you say yes or no. So actually you determine if that weapon will kill other people. So don't tell me you're neutral. If you say yes, that weapon will kill other people. But you say, well, wait a second. It's a moral situation here. You actually provide that weapon to an entity, a person who defends in the name of good, right? Yes. If it would be like that, yes. But my issue is not with this kind of clear-cut example, analogy. Yes, under these kind of circumstances, yes, but you're still involved in it. You still provided that you're involved in the decision. Without your decision, those will not kill those. But you say, wait a second, they're defending themselves against an unprovoked attack. As I said, unprovoked from your interpretation, but from other people's interpretation, it was not like that. So again, why should you be the right one? You should get together and discuss these things. These things were discussed in 2014, Minsk agreements, 2015, Minsk agreements, 2021, the Russians ran after NATO/United States like dogs in heat to talk to them about NATO expansion and arming of Ukraine, and the Americans did not want to talk about it. So provoked, unprovoked, it's a lot of stuff that happened in Ukraine, the overthrow of the legitimate government of Yanukovych, remember, in 2014 with the help of Western countries, or I can say some names here, and then what? Immediately recognized the people who conducted that coup. And that's under the international law. That's illegal, right? Because it was a legitimate, democratically elected government that was toppled with outside help. That means those people were traitors. Traitors? What happened to traitors? Do they give them candy? No. You promote them? No. Unless you're in certain countries. And Ukraine seemed to have been that kind of country. Anyway, so let's see what other things Switzerland says about itself, how fantastic it is. The proposal was adopted by 14 votes against 11. The decision will not only apply to the war in Ukraine and will remain in force until the end of 2025. Now, it says in November 2022, Switzerland rejected a German request to allow Swiss-made ammunition to be re-exported to Ukraine, saying such a move would violate Swiss neutrality. So how come it violated in November but now it doesn't? Because it's the same thing. What's changed since November until now? In November you didn't allow a third party to provide Ukraine with ammunition, but now you do, and you say that the Commission pointed out that changes would not violate the Swiss neutrality, as it would be third countries, not Switzerland itself, supplying Kiev with Swiss-made equipment. The same was valid for November 2022 when Germany tried to do that, wasn't it? So you're idiots, or what's going on? Now remember, if you remember, I don't know, Hitler, that evil guy, he couldn't destroy Switzerland's neutrality. Hitler was not able to drag Switzerland in a war. Remember Sweden. Hitler could not drag Sweden in a war. But somehow United States was able, because it was not Ukraine here, able or under pressure to drag these guys out of their neutrality. Switzerland and Sweden now joining, I guess they're not going to join NATO because Erdogan blocked them because of the Quran burning and all that. You remember I made a video a minute ago regarding that. So there you have it with Switzerland. Switzerland, Hitler did not have that power, as evil as he was during the Second World War, with all those attacks, the whole Europe destroyed, with all those policies, extermination, camps, and all that. He did not have the power to persuade the Swiss to get out of their neutrality. But someone else nowadays had, without even being a war in Europe like it was when Hitler was over there. So that tells you that maybe this current power is even stronger, much stronger than Hitler power had. Or maybe the current leaders of Switzerland are not the leaders of 1930s and 1940s leaders. Either way, it's bad, and they're not neutral. They can claim it, like, criminal can claim, I'm a good man, I'm a good person. Yes, you are. You did some good things and some bad things, but you can't say, well, I'm good. No, you're good and bad, as I am and you are. Thank you very much for being with me again today. Stay strong, stay smart, look for the truth, and be just.